Mr. Investor, welcome back to the channel, baby. So today I want to talk about Illumina. Let's take a look at their business and how we could be making some cash money alongside them. And let's look at some statements what Eric Holmlin has previously said, as well as BNGO's relationship with Quest Diagnostics and what BNGO could become. Let's also talk about some breaking news about Bionano Genomics and some laboratories. Bionano Labs? Ooh, is it official? I also want to talk about certain markets and do a little bit of calculations. Lastly, I gotta say a big thank you because we just went from $9.99 refresh. We just hit 10,000 subscribers and I couldn't have done it without you guys. So thank you so much for always supporting my video. Every time you like a video, it helps me promote to a greater audience. Every time you drop a comment and every time you watch the whole video. So thank you so much for all the love and support. And I hope I can continue bringing you value and entertainment every single day, baby. Always remember, none of this is financial advice, and if you can support the channel, please click the join button above my head or click the PayPal description down below. You can send tips that way. But don't worry if you're unable to, because just you hitting the like, clicking subscribe, dropping me a comment, all of these mean the world to me. So thank you so much for being part of this family. Okay, first things first, many of you know of the biotechnology company called Illumina. It's an American company, and in 2018 they turned over $3.3 billion US. So we went into their quick fact sheet. Let's take a look at Illumina. Founded in 1998, over 7,800 employees. The annual revenue in 2020 was $3.2 billion. They have this range of sequencers and they've served all these countries across the world. So they operate in United States, Germany, Netherlands, Brazil, China, Japan, UK. In terms of the amount of countries served, this is 115 countries. The applications range from cancer to agriculture to genetic disease, even covering across into reproductive health. So Bionano Genomics is pretty useful for Illumina. They also have customers in clinics, hospitals, universities, research labs, and even pharmaceutical companies. So why are they important to us, Big Daddy? Well, during the company updates and earnings call, Eric Holmlin, remember that guy, the CEO of BNGO? He basically said that it can be used one-to-one with sequencers. So optical genome mapping, the Sapphire system, can be used on a one-to-one basis with sequencers. Illumina has installed 17,000 systems. So these are active sequencing systems installed. But what is the connection with Bionano Genomics? As of December 31st, 2020, Illumina and Quest Diagnostics represented 17.3% and 10.1% respectively of the company's total accounts receivable balance. Accounts receivable is the balance of money due to a firm for goods or services delivered or used but not yet paid for by customers. AR is any amount of money owed by customers for purchases made on credit. So they owe us some money, baby, put it in the piggy bank. But I believe that right now collecting that money is not the most important thing. They're obviously using up the machine, they're using up consumables. 17.3% of the accounts receivable balance is Illumina. But imagine if we were to install on a one-to-one basis with just Illumina, 17,000 sequencing systems installed, what would this mean for our pocket? 17,000 sapphires? So that was Eric Holmlin's belief for sequencers on a one-to-one basis. And with 17,000, that could be very juicy. Now, 10% of that accounts receivable, that money owed to us by customers, is indeed Quest Diagnostics. But who are Quest Diagnostics? Real opportunity is knocking here. These guys are the real deal and they did amazing in 2020. The company aims to empower people to take action to improve health outcomes. So they're actually derived from the world's largest database of clinical lab results, and the kind of diagnostic insights that they develop leads to new avenues to identify and treat disease. Who are they serving? 1 in 3 adult Americans, half the physicians and hospitals in the United States, and they have 47,000 employees. These guys are using the Sapphire machine, they're using optical genome mapping, and they are the world's largest provider of diagnostic information services. Just take a look at their revenue. In 2020, they generated $9.44 billion. And the thing is, this is still a growing business. So we better get in there like swimwear, baby. So if we're one-to-one with sequencers, Illumina has 17,000, but say we have 10,000 Sapphire systems. Is it that hard to get 10,000 Sapphire systems out there? With lots of big boys coming into play and using the machine, lots of different companies. And shout out to Michael, a messenger of Moiseville. PerkinElmer is currently using the Sapphire machine. You can see whole genome optical mapping technology, uses the newest bioinformatics, making it one of the best tests in the industry. This is for FSHD. Brennan, aka Messenger of Moiseville, over on Twitter and StockTwits also showed how close things are. Bionano Genomics is here, Cradle Genomics is here, Illumina is here. And Richard Shippey, Chief Business Officer at Bionano Genomics, replied, Yes, when I co-founded Cradle Genomics, we secured a great location for our headquarters, which was less than a mile from Illumina. 3 years later, he met Eric Comlin, and there was no question Bionano Genomics was the absolute perfect place for me. Also, 2 blocks away. So Richard Shippey co-founded this successful company Cradle Genomics. He was also a senior director and worked at Illumina for 5 years, 9 months before he made Cradle Genomics. And a few years before that, he was with Affymetrix, where he was a senior director in strategic product marketing. He launched this product called Cytoscan, and Thermo Fisher went and snatched up Affymetrix for $1.3 billion. According to Bionano Genomics' press release on Richard Shippey, they said that Cytoscan was a market-leading CMA product, and it was the only FDA-approved whole genome copy number analysis platform. He also helped launch OncoScan. So this man has a very successful past, and he said that Bionano Genomics was no doubt the best place for him. So imagine if we sell our machine to Quest Diagnostics or Illumina, or allow them to utilize the machine alongside their services. Imagine they're generating $9.44 billion. If they find the Sapphire machine super useful and they use it alongside the other tests that they're running, you get a portion of revenue from Illumina, from Quest Diagnostics. And these guys run millions of tests. For example, Quest has performed more than 9.2 million C19 molecular tests and 2.8 million serology tests. And this was in July 2020, so I don't know what time C19 hit America. In the UK, we kind of had our lockdown in March 2020. Say for example, if it hit in January, that's 7 months worth, and they ran millions of tests. And one of the most interesting news pieces that came out, thank you Urban Stocks and bad girl Tatiana, there's some news that we are building out our own Bionano Laboratories. It says here, medical testing services, namely molecular and genetic testing for disorders of childhood development, providing an internet website for medical professionals and medical patients featuring information-related medical testing services. Also says medical specimen collection, transportation kit, compromise of blood test tubes, foam container tubes, all the goodies in the goodie bag for testing. Shout out to Cisco Trader, he's been saying for months that we're going to build out our own Bionano Laboratories. And he even found the website, bionanolaboratories.com, you can check it out yourself. All the testing services here. Currently we only have 2, or we have 1, and we have FSHD1 tests coming soon. But the main one here is C19. And there's a product or a test here called Binax Now. Binax Now for emergency use authorization only, for use with nasal swab specimens, for in vitro use only. What is it? It says here that it's a lateral flow test and that testing is limited to laboratories certified under the CLIA, Clinical Laboratory Improvement Amendments of 1988. So this is to detect C19, as you can see here, for individuals suspected of having C19 by their healthcare provider within the first 7 days of symptom on. C19 is going to be here for years to come. How many variants, how many strains are there? I heard there was 85 last time I checked. But the World Health Organization is actively tracking, in August they were tracking 13 additional variants. On WebMD they're listing them, there's alpha, beta, gamma, delta, so many different names. So alongside this opportunity of installing Sapphire systems on a one-to-one basis, creating our own labs and testing services, there are also some eyebrows raised regarding a buyout price. So even now, if Bionano Genomics is at $5.50, Landsman over on StockTwit said, Bionano could easily fetch a buyout price well above here, more than twice the current market price easily. That de-risks BNGO a lot. If would-be acquirers would pay $12 per share right now, why should you accept $5.50? And it's true what he's saying, because the founder of Bionano Genomics also said the same thing. Nobody else can corner the market on long structural variations. In the mighty words of Han Kao, he said that sequencing alone couldn't find all germline disease-causing variants or assemble new genome de novo accurately. I also see people on StockTwits talking about different segments of the market. This one was particularly on just prenatals. 2,428 hospitals in the US that offer OB-GYN services, $150,000 for each system. $150,000 times 2,428 hospitals is $364.2 million. With over 10,000 children born every day in the US, one test per child at $500 a pop right now equates to $5.3 million per day. Times 365, that's a whopping $1.9 billion per year. Kurdish said that's just in the States, and it's just for prenatal market. Sometimes people often ask me about the price of Bionano Genomics and how it could possibly get to $100 mark. Let's take a calculation on the Sapphire system, and let's speak about what Eric Comlin has currently said about 10,000 Sapphire systems. This is part of the Bionano Genomics investor relations presentation. And let's calculate the consumables. using the valuation model given to us by Admiral Tweezers, but instead of looking at 164,000 consumables, say we have 10,000 Sapphire systems out there and they only consume one consumable per day. Let's also say that these consumables go down to a cost of $100 per consumable. So we're not even going to calculate the $450 per genome, 240 genome bundle minimum. We'll just calculate $100 a pop. So 10,000 consumables per day, $100 a pop, and that's $1 million a day. Times that by 365 days a year is $365 million. So let's look at the model of Admiral Tweezers and also put in Illumina's price to earnings ratio of 80. So let's do the $365 million revenue per year times 80 price to earnings ratio of Illumina. And this gives us $29.2 billion. So that will be an estimated market price of BNGO. And let's take that and divide it by the current market cap of BNGO. It's probably going to drop to about 1.5 billion. It's at 1.55 right now, but we'll calculate it like that. So 29.2 billion divided by 1.55 equals 18.8. So that's our multiple there. And if we times the current stock price, which will be $5.40 when we open, so times $5.40 equals $101 per share. So that's just based off 10,000 consumables per day. Obviously, we might use more than one consumable per day per Sapphire machine, especially when we're developing stuff for reproductive health, we're developing stuff for cancer liquid biopsy. And according to Gideon Gill on Twitter, the real money isn't in testing the relatively few people with advanced cancer, but it's in testing everyone else. This is known as screening. Imagine the populations around the world if you were screening people for cancer, screening people for genetic disease, not only newborns, but existing populations. 328 million people in the United States in 2019. Imagine that at $100 a pop. And with cancer, there's also routine screening for people to see if there's any recurrence of cancer. So does $100 a pop seem so far away now when we have all of these different relationships, partnerships, we have the right staff in play who can help us multiply and grow this business. We also have some service providers in the agricultural industry who are constantly signing contracts. Here on our service provider page, we got Praxis Genomics, but this one, Corteva Agriscience. Word on the curb is they started to sign more and more contracts, more and more agreements. This one is with BNGO to develop biofungicide solutions. They also expanded their agreement with Elemental Enzymes to deliver farmers proven, innovative biological fungicide. And not only that, but the Vertebrate Genome Project in terms of mapping out all the species. So we're not only talking about the animal world, but other companies could be exploring fungus. They could be exploring marijuana and different strains. They could be exploring lots of different crops, but also viruses and bacteria. And then genetic editing and CRISPR. Because right now, the CRISPR-Cas9 gene editing technology has shown promise in clearing HIV from mice. Illumina has also released news that they are heavily investing in certain startups and biotech companies. As we can see here in the San Francisco Bay Area, part of the Illumina Accelerator groups, they're exploring genomic tools for creating, climate smart, sustainable foods. They're also helping farmers with agriculture to improve crop profitability and soil health. One of the other exciting startups is also focusing on precision medicine, something that we can help with because we can locate biomarkers. Everything focusing on improving the world that we currently live in. And going back into the Bionano Genomics Investor Relations presentation, take a look at this. There's 1 million patients tested for blood cancers per year, right? And these people are probably symptomatic, that's why they've chosen to test them. 200,000 cases are then diagnosed each year from that 1 million patients tested. And see, this is 1 million patients tested. Imagine that at $100 a pop. But what if it's not these symptomatic patients that are tested, but the whole population is screened? They start to screen people for blood cancer, not just people with symptoms. It can bring them good outcomes, give them long survival rather than them being diagnosed too late, and it's too late for treatment, it's too far spread. The cancer is metastasized. So we really have this blue ocean, this market segment that we can exploit, we can make money from, but we can also help a lot of people. Not to mention what happens when that nano nozzle comes out and we can start to look at sequencing. Ooh, wouldn't that be juicy? Today there might be a sell-off in crypto, there might be a sell-off in also some stocks because of the Evergrande thing going on. $400 billion in debt they need to pay. If this continues to affect the market and we start to get Bionano Genomics dropping in stock price, if that drops into the $4 range, I'm seriously going to load the boat. And this is not financial advice. I can't tell you to buy a stock. I can't tell you to sell. I can't even tell you to hold a stock. But for me, I can tell you what I'm up to. I've been covering Bionano Genomics for months now. And remember, just in December, And remember, just in December, Bionano Genomics was 50 cents a share. We went all the way up to $15.69. Some of you guys made 28 times your money. Some of you guys are holding long term. Some of you guys bought up here. Some of you guys averaged down like me. I've been covering Bionano Genomics since it was $1 per share. I bought it in the $2 range. I then sold it at $4.80. And then when I done my studying and I looked into the company, done my due diligence, I realized, oh my gosh, this company could be a game changer. And I bought up at about $10 per share, $11 per share, and then I've been averaging down ever since. So week by week, I end up buying a little bit of Bionano Genomics, just try to bring my averages down. I'm now sitting on over 1,000 shares, and I'm hoping to build out and have a lot more shares of Bionano Genomics because I believe in this company long term. But I want to know your thoughts and feelings. Tell me your thoughts and feelings, what you think this company can develop into. Tell me what segment of the market you're most bullish on. You know, we can be used in agriculture, we can be used in discovery and research, we can be used in screening hopefully one day. Can you see how the markets are shifting towards this kind of preventative healthcare model? And do you see Bionano Genomics as being a lucrative company in a blue ocean? We are the market leader in optical genome mapping. Nabsys is also there doing some sort of optical mapping. But the definition of blue ocean strategy is referred to as a market for a product where there is no competition or very less competition. The cover of this book was actually posted by Eric Homelin, maybe suggesting that he believes that optical genome mapping, they're the market leaders and they're in a league of their own. Oh baby, I hope you enjoyed our 10,000 subscriber special. Thank you so much for always supporting the channel. I love you guys and I wouldn't do this, guys, without your love and support. So thank you for always watching the video. And if you're able to support the channel, please click the join button or feel free to send me any tips via PayPal in my description box below. I will never contact you with a WhatsApp number in the comments, so watch out for those scammers. And if you're unable to join channel memberships or drop me a tip or donation, don't worry about it. Just you hitting like and subscribe means the world to me. Thank you for always dropping me comments. Thank you for the love and support, and I'll catch you in the next video. Mr. Invest a Lot, over and out, baby.